For years, the story we've been told is that the future of technology is a two-horse race, the US versus China. It's a narrative of trillion-dollar tech giants in Silicon Valley and Shenzhen battling for supremacy over everything from AI to space exploration. But what if that story is leaving out a key player? Welcome back to Byte. While the world was busy watching them, a small, landlocked nation in the heart of Africa did something incredible. This isn't a concept. This isn't just another prototype. This is Kigali, Rwanda. And while the world's superpowers are still arguing on the ground, this African nation just demonstrated the future of urban transportation in its skies. So, how did Rwanda leapfrog the world's richest countries to host the first public flight of a pilotless, passenger-carrying air taxi in Africa? The answer isn't just about the technology, it's a secret that could completely shake up the global balance of power. Section 1. The stalled dream of the West. The dream of the flying car is as old as the car itself. It's a vision of ultimate freedom, of skies buzzing with personal vehicles, soaring above the gridlock that chokes our modern cities. For decades, it's been a staple of science fiction, always promised to be just around the corner. In the United States and Europe, corporate giants and ambitious startups have poured billions into making this a reality. Companies like Boeing, Airbus, and Uber have all invested heavily in what the industry now calls VTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. But despite all that money and brainpower, the Western world has been stuck in a frustrating cycle of regulatory delays and public doubt. The problem is baked into the very structure of these developed nations. Their airspace is already the most crowded on Earth. Their cities are dense, historic, and weren't exactly built with skyports in mind. Take the Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) in the US. In late 2024, it finally published its first big set of rules for these new powered lift aircraft, the first new category since helicopters in the 1940s. While it was a huge step, the 880-page document mainly highlighted how insanely complex the challenge was. The rules cover pilot certification and operations, but the road from regulation to you actually hailing one for a ride is still long and winding. Developers like Joby Aviation and Archer Aviation are making progress, but their timelines for public service are still years away, with initial launches eyed for places like Dubai or for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. The West, in a way, is a victim of its own success. Its legacy infrastructure, deeply entrenched legal systems, and a risk-averse culture make it incredibly hard to roll out truly revolutionary technology. Every test flight over a city is a legal nightmare. Every new design has to fit into a century of existing aviation law. The dream was alive, but it was grounded by red tape. The world was looking to the US for the next leap forward, but it was looking in the wrong direction. Section 2. The Revelation. Africa's leap into the sky. Then, in September 2025, during the Aviation Africa Summit in Kigali, the script was flipped. In front of aviation experts, investors, and regulators from across the continent, a sleek white aircraft, the Ahang 216S, took to the skies. It wasn't a secret test. It was a public statement. With President Paul Kagame and other officials watching, the two-seater, fully autonomous electric aircraft soared 100 meters above the city, navigating a pre-planned path with no pilot on board. This was Africa's first public flight of a self-flying air taxi, a milestone that instantly put Rwanda on the map for advanced air mobility. Now, when we say flying car, we're not talking about something that also drives on roads. The technical term is an autonomous VTOL, or a passenger drone. But let's be real, it's a car, and it flies. The A216S is a marvel of engineering. It's powered by 16 electric rotors, a design that gives it massive redundancy for safety. Even if multiple motors fail, it can still land securely. It cruises at a brisk 130 kilometers per hour, about 80 miles per hour, with a range of up to 30 kilometers, more than enough for cross-city trips. In a city like Kigali, a 45-minute drive through traffic could become a 5-minute flight. This flight was the result of a smart partnership between the Rwandan government, the China Road and Bridge Corporation (CRBC), and Ahang, a Chinese company that's a global leader in this space. Ahang has already done what many Western companies are still years from achieving: full certification in its home country. The A216S has received the Type Certificate, Airworthiness Certificate, and Production Certificate from the Civil Aviation Administration of China (CAAC), making it the world's first company to get all three for a passenger-carrying, pilotless VTOL. The world was stunned, not because the tech didn't exist, but because of where this was happening. Rwanda, a nation that just 3 decades ago was recovering from a devastating genocide, was now pioneering a technology the wealthiest nations were still struggling with. It defied every stereotype and single-handedly changed the perception of Africa from a continent that follows to one that can lead. Section 3, The Secret Explained, Why Rwanda Won the Race. So, how did this happen? How did a small, developing nation outmaneuver the tech giants of the world? It wasn't a single silver bullet, but a powerful combination of 3 strategic advantages. Pillar 1, visionary governance and a culture of yes first, and maybe most important, is Rwanda's leadership. Under President Paul Kagame, the country has embraced a national mindset focused on rapid development and tech adoption. This isn't just talk, it's part of Vision 2050, a national strategy to become a high-income, knowledge-based economy. Unlike the slow-moving bureaucracies of the West, Rwanda's government is agile and relentlessly pro-innovation. When the American drone company Zipline struggled to get permission to operate in the US, Rwanda welcomed them. In 2016, it became the first country to launch a national drone delivery service, a move that has revolutionized its healthcare system. This set a powerful precedent. The Rwanda Civil Aviation Authority (RACA) developed performance-based regulation. Instead of writing rigid rules for specific technologies, they define the safety standards that need to be met and let companies figure out the best way to meet them. This creates a sandbox environment that is incredibly attractive to tech companies. This culture of yes, let's figure it out together is the polar opposite of the no, until it's 100% proven mentality that has stalled progress elsewhere. Pillar 2, the perfect testbed, necessity as the mother of invention. The second advantage is Rwanda's unique geography. Known as the land of 1,000 hills, its terrain makes ground transport difficult and slow. Rural clinics were often hours away from central blood banks, a delay that cost lives. That's why Zipline's service, delivering blood by drone, wasn't a novelty, it was a life-saving necessity. The service has been a massive success, with some reports stating it delivers up to 75% of the country's blood supply outside the capital, cutting delivery times from hours to minutes. Zipline's success proved 2 things: that drone technology could work reliably at a national scale, and that the Rwandan people were ready to embrace it. So when the idea of flying passenger taxis came along, it wasn't seen as some sci-fi luxury. It was a logical next step to solve a real problem: traffic congestion in Kigali. For Rwanda, this is about leapfrogging the immense cost and environmental impact of building more roads and bridges. Pillar 3, smart strategic partnerships. The third pillar is pragmatism. Rwanda knew it didn't have to invent the technology itself, it just had to be the smartest at implementing it. The flight of the ETA-16S was a collaboration between the Rwandan government and 2 key Chinese partners, Ahang and the China Road and Bridge Corporation. Ahang is a world leader in autonomous VTOLs. By partnering with them, Rwanda imported a mature, proven, and most importantly certified technology. They didn't have to spend years and billions on R&D. They focused on their strengths: regulation, infrastructure, and deployment. This is a masterclass in strategic thinking, leveraging international expertise to meet national goals and build a low-altitude economy. By combining its regulatory agility with Ahang's certified tech, Rwanda created a winning formula no one else had. Section 4, the global impact. A new tech hierarchy. Rwanda's achievement is about far more than a single flight. It's a paradigm shift. It challenges the old global tech hierarchy, proving that innovation is no longer the exclusive domain of a few wealthy nations. First, it validates a new model for tech deployment. While superpowers are bogged down by their own complexity, smaller, more agile nations can become the world's proving grounds. By offering regulatory sandboxes and clear political will, countries like Rwanda can attract the world's most advanced companies and implement future-forward technologies years before larger nations can. Second, this is a monumental moment for Africa. For decades, the narrative has often been one of dependency. Rwanda has shattered that stereotype, repositioning itself as an innovation hub. The country is already building Kigali Innovation City, a tech campus aimed at creating tens of thousands of jobs and generating massive tech exports. This historic flight sends a powerful signal to investors and talent worldwide. Africa is not just open for business, it's where the future is being built. Finally, it puts immense pressure on the United States and Europe. The shock of seeing Kigali beat New York, London, and Tokyo to this milestone is a wake-up call. It shows that being a first-world economy doesn't guarantee you'll be the first to the future. The global flying taxi market is projected by various analysts to be a multi-billion-dollar industry by 2030, with some estimates reaching over $28 billion, and Rwanda has just secured a powerful first-mover advantage. This isn't just about pride, it's about a fundamental shift in economic power driven by technology. Rwanda didn't just launch a flying taxi demonstration, it launched a new era of innovation. It proved that vision can be more powerful than wealth and that agility can beat size. For decades, the world map of technology has been drawn in the same way, with the same centers of power. Now, that map is being redrawn from the skies of Central Africa. The established order has been disrupted. This wasn't a fluke, it was the result of a deliberate, long-term strategy built on visionary leadership, practical necessity, and smart collaboration. So, the question is no longer if flying taxis will become a reality, but who will lead the revolution? Is this a one-off success for Rwanda, or is it the beginning of a new chapter where smaller nations consistently out-innovate the old guard? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Follow and subscribe TechByte.